Imagine a young man rushing into a temple one morning, laptop in one hand, phone in the other, eyes heavy with sleep but dressed in a sharp blazer. He bows down quickly, looks at the deity and whispers, "Please help me finish this presentation on time." Everyone in the temple chuckled, but I smiled, because that moment, so small, so innocent, showed me something profound. We don't work anymore. We worship work. And yet, the same people who treat their job as a god also feel the most miserable. Why? Because we've made work our identity, but we haven't made it our integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, your work defines your life, but how it defines it depends on you. Not just what you do, but how you do it and why you do it. That is what makes your work powerful. So today, let's explore how your work can be your path to peace, your tool for transformation, and even your offering to the world. If you do it with purpose, there's something subtle yet incredible about the relationship between the work we do and the person we're becoming in the process. Most people think work is just about earning a living, climbing the ladder, or securing a future. But in truth, your work is shaping you more than you realize. It's not just a means to an end, it's a mirror, reflecting back to you the kind of human being you are becoming. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who worked as a security guard at a residential building. Every day, he would sit quietly at the gate, open it for the cars, greet people politely, and follow his routine. Most residents barely noticed him. To them, he was just doing his job. But there was one little boy who passed by him every morning on his way to school. One day, the boy stopped and asked, "Uncle, why are you always smiling?" The guard chuckled and said, "Because every time I smile, someone else does too." That child didn't understand it then, but years later, he recalled that moment as one of the first times he learned that work is not about the job you do, it's about the energy you bring to it. That guard could have seen his job as boring or meaningless, but instead, he saw it as an opportunity to spread kindness. He wasn't just opening a gate, he was opening hearts. I'm a doctor or I'm a manager at a tech company. The room pays attention. But if someone says, "I'm a janitor," suddenly people stop listening. And that's where we go wrong. Because no matter how big or small the role looks from the outside, every single job is a classroom, and every single task is a teacher. And you, my friend, are a student. Whether you're serving coffee, leading a team, managing a business, or cleaning a floor, life is watching who you are becoming in the process. Are you becoming more patient with difficult people? Are you becoming more humble despite your success? Are you becoming more disciplined, more attentive, more grateful? These are the silent questions work asks us every day. You don't need a better job to become a better person. You need a better perspective. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine two people working at a call center. They're doing the same job, answering calls, solving customer problems. But one of them is always frustrated, complains about the hours, gets irritated with customers, counts minutes until the shift ends. The other person, calm, kind, listens carefully, sometimes even prays silently before picking up each call, hoping to make a difference in someone's day. Same job, but one is just enduring it. the other is evolving through it. The job is the same, the person is becoming different. It's easy to think, I'll be a better person when I get that dream job, when I work with better people, when I have more freedom. But growth doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Growth happens in uncomfortable conversations, in stressful deadlines, in moments of failure and humility. That's where character is built. When I travel and meet people, I often ask, what did your work teach you this week? And the most inspiring answers never come from the CEOs or the high performers. They come from the people who've learned to treat their job as a spiritual discipline. They say things like, I learned to stay calm when my client yelled at me. A colleague who tried to bring me down. That, my friends, is the real promotion, not in salary, but in self. Every day at work is an opportunity to become more of the person you were meant to be. Let your work refine you, not just define you. You can't always choose your job, but you can choose how you show up for it. You can choose to be excellent, to be kind, to be ethical, to be consistent. And when you do that, you won't just become a better worker, you'll become a better human being. Because at the end of your life, people won't remember your job title. They'll remember how you made them feel. They'll remember your integrity, your honesty, your warmth. And all of that begins at work. So tomorrow morning when you step into your workplace, ask yourself, who am I becoming because of the way I work? Because your work is not just shaping your career, it's shaping your character. And your character will shape your entire life. Purpose is the soul of work. Without it, even the most exciting jobs can feel empty. And with it, even the most mundane tasks can feel sacred. Let's pause for a moment and think about a candle. A candle burns itself out to bring light to others. But what's interesting is, the wax is not what gives the candle meaning. The flame is. The flame is the purpose. Without it, the candle's just decoration. In the same way, without purpose, your work is just activity, just movement, just hours passed and energy spent. But with purpose, your work becomes alive. It breathes meaning into your life. It becomes a source of fulfillment, not just a means to survive. There's a beautiful story about a young woman who worked in a hospital as a janitor. Every day she cleaned hallways, scrubbed floors, and emptied trash bins. Most people never even noticed her. She didn't wear a white coat. She wasn't diagnosing patients or performing surgeries. One day, someone asked her, "Do you ever wish you had a more important job here?" She smiled and said, "But I already have one of the most important jobs here." She continued, "I clean the pediatric ward every day, and I always think a child recovering from surgery shouldn't have to worry about germs on the floor. A nurse rushing to save a life shouldn't slip on a wet hallway. If I keep this place spotless, maybe I save a life too, in my own way." That right there is purpose. The job didn't change, the salary didn't increase, but the mindset transformed a routine into a mission. You see, when you work without purpose, you count hours. But when you work with purpose, you count impact. Many people wake up each day dreading